And today we are going to have an oral exam with the topic the working world. So stay tuned. Actually, I was just talking to Chris that I will introduce myself with Regina Velangi, just because I can. So for the ones who know, it's a fictional character out of Friends, which Phoebe uses when she does not want to use her name. But back to the game. Okay, today we are going to perform an oral exam with the topic the working world. And as you all know, we start off with looking through the exam itself. Okay. It's ready. You're right. Okay, goody. It's bleeping and blinking everywhere. Okay, first, as usual, introduce yourself and never forget to smile. This is why I draw this smiley over here. See, there is hair, and there's ears. It's a guy, I guess. I need to draw a girl later on. Okay, be confident, present everything. This is the part that you can prepare at home, like really every day, that it sounds fluent and so on and so forth. Then the topic for the first exam is comparison of careers in the past and today. And the situation is the following, that you are an expert in the field of economics, and you are invited to hold a presentation, and here in an economy class, so it's a specific setting, how working opportunities have changed over time. So kind of an interesting topic because loads has happened over the years. And in your short talk, which should be 3 to 4 minutes, you should give reasons why working opportunities have changed. Like, for example, technology has opened many possibilities, for example, a new job and job opportunities. Then afterwards, briefly present 2 modern jobs and tell why these jobs did not exist in the past. So as already said, like, for example, modern jobs are maybe those kind of jobs that work with technology, social media manager, for example, or in marketing, for example, product placement in video making, so create loads of creative jobs, and shortly discuss if there are pros and cons of these modern jobs as well. And then afterwards, you should, after the presentation, you should open up the discussion to calls from the economy class, so react to what is what they ask you, and the questions will be about difficulties of these new job opportunities. And there's also a text, 10 jobs that didn't exist 10 years ago. You've got the link over here. And bring in also your own ideas and experience afterwards. So there is the role play end. Role play, and you open the discussion to the examiners, and we start off right now with the first exam, and then we have a look at the second. So, yes,
I'm almost ready.
Good.
I just have to.
There is you, and yes. We start off immediately, so hello. Nice to have you here. So are you ready for your A-level exams?
Yes, but I'm quite nervous today.
You're nervous? Everyone's nervous.
It's so hot today.
Yeah. And so your brain won't function properly, you think?
I hope I drank a lot of water.
Okay, so. Yeah, that is wise. Could you please introduce yourself to the other examiners, because I know you're ready.
My name is Christoph. I'm doing the A-levels. Basically, I'm doing the Berufsreifeprüfung here at the Wifi because I want to study biology.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. Why do you want to study biology?
I think biology, especially plants and similar stuff, have interested me since I was a little kid. I used to know all the plants and all the birds. I was I think the best in my class back in the days, okay. Who remembered it best, and actually I was quite fascinated about everything that has to do with biology.
You want to work at university then?
Yes.
Yes, really?
Yes.
So good luck for that, because there's a long way to go.
Yes, I don't want to be a teacher, actually. I think that's nothing for me.
Teaching students then afterwards, and performing research then.
Is better for me, I think.
Cool. Yeah, we'll be hearing from you soon, I guess.
I hope.
But before you can pursue that path, we need to get on with our exam. Okay, today the topic we talk about is the working world, to be more precise, comparison of careers in the past and today. And you've read the situation that you're an expert of economics, and you should have a brief presentation for a economy class. So it's quite what it might look like in future.
Yes.
Just another topic.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes. Okay, please, whenever you're ready.
Yes. So, welcome everybody, welcome ladies and gentlemen to my class about economy. My name is Ted and I'm an expert in the field of economics, and today I'm going to talk about why working opportunities have changed over the years. I'm going to present modern jobs, which modern jobs have developed over the years. I'm gonna also do a short comparison about past jobs, and then I'm gonna discuss the pros and the cons of the jobs I've presented you. So I'd like to start with the first point I mentioned, which is why the working opportunities have changed. So you all know today we're using a lot of modern technology, such as mobile phones, the internet. Subcategory of the internet is of course email, and before email it was fax, and before fax, I don't know, it was normal mail, I think. And if we, for example, take this development over the years, we see a constant improvement in, of course, it's in terms of how fast we can get information, how fast we can exchange information with our, for example, partners at work, with other partners or customers we're working together. So therefore, I think the internet is a good example how different jobs developed. So and therefore I want to mention two jobs that have developed over the past 2 decades, maybe 1 decade or something, which is the app developer and the social media manager. Of course, there are a lot more like blogger and even YouTube, let's say star, is also a job that people, more and more people start earning their living with, or making a living with, out of it. But I'm gonna go back to those two jobs I've mentioned. So the app developer, of course, nowadays every company, even schools, so in the field of education, apps are very important. Small programs that we use on our mobile phones, on our tablets, that can normally easily be accessed and worked with. And of course, it needs somebody who develops an app. So therefore, in the past, it was only guys and girls, of course, who were good in using certain computer things, so programming. Nowadays, the new form of programming is app development. And of course, it's just not one person. You also need a person that has is fond of design, graphic design, of course. An app needs to be appealing to the user. And the second job I want to mention is the social media manager. So, of course, nowadays, in the time of Facebook, where there are a lot of people using Facebook, the initial thought behind Facebook has more or less disappeared. It's not about connecting with people anymore. There are also companies that, of course, want to advertise on Facebook and to manage different post advertisements, for example, sales or something. You need somebody who manages this website or this social network website, Instagram, Facebook. And therefore, this job is quite important for nowadays companies. So if you don't necessarily have to have an Instagram account as a company, but it's of course very good because it's an increasing number of users in Instagram. And in Facebook, of course, if you have a certain amount of customers, it's free basically at first. Of course, there are certain programs that Facebook offers companies, but if you have a company, you can sign up for free on Facebook and just create a group or a website basically, and then invite people. And they, of course, the people get to know your products, and also you can upload pictures, everything that's possible. And in the former days, you had to make a catalog and send it via mail to every customer.
Thank you very much for your talk. We are running out of time.
I'm sorry.
Don't you worry. But I think that our guest here in the class will have loads of questions, because you talked about, yes, I have a question. I'm Brad. I'm actually pursuing to become a app developer, and you've just pointed out that there are loads of positive aspects, that loads of new genres are actually looking into how one can use apps in their daily surroundings. What do you suggest? Where should I start to get a job, or where should I apply first? Do you have a suggestion what kind of domain, let's put it like this, could be the one I should go first to?
I think as an app developer nowadays, it's important that you have some kind of training at first, because even if you're good in programming and stuff, it's something completely different. Of course, you can do it by yourself, so autodidactic, but of course, companies want to see something, that you have a certificate or something. So I think Wi-Fi offers programs or training programs that focus on app development, but I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
And there's certain other companies that offer this. Even I think if you want to study informatics, there's also like a certain point at in your studies that focus on app development.
Good. Yes, we've got a second question then from Linda, who wants to become a social media manager. Yes. So what I've looked at into is if there is like a study program here in Austria focusing on social media management, but I haven't found anything in that direction. do you suggest what should I go for? Because I have a blog already about books, for example, so I've got like already experience in the field. However, I think that there is loads and loads still to learn about this topic. What do you suggest in this case?
In this case, I'd suggest that. So you're a blogger.
Yes.
So and you're really fond of how Facebook and all the stuff works.
Yes.
How to advertise things or your blog.
Yeah.
And I think with this experience, you have certain abilities that others don't have that maybe apply for the same job. So in your case, I'd just try to apply for a job and see what happens. And then if you're in that job, you certainly working together with the PR
department. Yes.
Of this company, and then you can learn something about the kind of old school way to do it and combine it with the social media things.
Yes, I might just do that. Yes, thank you very much for your interesting talk.
You're welcome.
And we end now the role playing. Come now to the last part, the follow-up discussion. And yes, I still have some questions as an examiner towards you. We talked about how jobs have changed and careers have changed in the past and today. And as I know, for example, besides pursuing to become a professional at the university, I know that you are a musician as well. And do you think that that has greatly changed from your perspective, a career of musicians like you?
Yeah. So in combination with social media, for example, it has changed a lot, of course. If you're nowadays, for example, you're writing to a promoter, you want to play at a certain club or a certain venue or festival. Not everybody does it, but more and more promoters do it, of course, since they want to make money too out of the band. They look at your Facebook or Instagram account. In Facebook, they look at how many people like your page, and in Instagram, they look at how many followers do you have.
Okay.
And of course, this is, in my opinion, not an accurate representation of a band.
Yeah.
Especially when a page was deleted or had to be deleted because it was hacked.
Okay.
Normally, the likes don't get
replaced.
Yeah. So
has that happened to you already?
No.
Okay.
No,
but you know someone.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird.
Actually, I know a few really good bands. They played at festivals. I looked at their Facebook page and was like 500 likes and was like, what?
That is new to you.
Yeah. And it kind of works this way too, but you have to be good. But I think the first thing is that you have a fan base, and that is measured with Facebook likes, of course. Because
and last question then in this, do you think it has become more competitive over the years to be a musician in that field? And more difficult and more competitive?
I think more difficult and more competitive because nowadays, with the help of the internet and Facebook, every band can promote itself, actually. Okay. And you can connect with people even you don't know and you haven't met.
Yeah.
So in former times, you had to, of course, go to concerts, connect with people, which is still important, but in former days, it wasn't just possible to maybe find out who is the promoter of a venue and then write him and maybe do even Skype or something. Former times you had to, of course, you could call the venue, but sometimes it's like, don't know who you are, just leave me alone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has been has gotten more competitive actually.
Thank you very much for your insights. And we are at the end of our exam right now. And we turn over to the analysis. And there are also some questions over there. Chris will take care of the questions in the meantime in the chat.
I write the questions. So, and I'm going to...
While you're doing that, I'm going to have a look at the exam.
So we need this here.
Perfect. Right. I'll start off with that Chris, I'll try to paint him right now, has done a wonderful job at the very beginning. So see, there he is. Gets a little bit of beard as well. See, okay, looks mostly like him. And that was quite good and interesting, and he also gave me a reason why he wants to become, to study biology, and that was interesting, gave me bits of his history, and that actually gave me an idea what he wants to do after the exam. And yes, let's have a look at the exam itself. So that can happen. I start off with the first thing that that your examiner interrupts you because due to time constraints that you are not able to talk about all the points. This is why, for example, I asked about cons then here, which you will see because Chris started off with told the audience what he's going to talk about, and started off with the first point, and said that the internet as well as mobile phones have greatly changed the job landscape, let's put it like this, and made also comparisons to the past because there were other forms of media, like for example fax, telephone and letters, like the old school told about that it's good and why it is good. This is why he talked about the pros, and the cons were not there because I needed to interrupt him. You should try to talk about all the points, bullet points, but it is difficult sometimes. But if your examiner doesn't have a grim face, you will be fine. And then afterwards, he reacted to some questions that were also regarding the app development, social media manager, and gave tips then, what could you do and what should one do? And actually gave, for example, the girl that asked for the social media manager, just the tip to the advice, the piece of advice to just give it a try because she had already experience in the field. And then in the end, Chris talked about his own experience as a musician. Obviously, I was not too careful, I need to admit right now, because we were in the role play. I know that he's a musician, and I thought that might be interesting to talk about that, but your examiners probably won't know such a thing. Still, let's just imagine he said at the very beginning that he's a musician, so it's absolutely valid and reliable and objective to talk about this topic. And that was absolutely interesting because he was able to draw from his experience to point at things and aspects that are new and challenges that are there and what can happen. Obstacles that are absolutely new, like the hacking thing, which I found was absolutely interesting. Never experienced heard of such a thing, and I think that is interesting. Are there some questions we still need to answer, or
I've tried to answer. No, I actually answered so far, and I also wrote if anybody of you out there has other other interesting mother jobs. Software engineer, Marco.
for example. Yes, very good. Yeah. There are also some you find some interesting jobs also in the link. We'll copy it then afterwards down here.
Description.
I like leave a like below. Sorry, it's been a long day. It was hot. Let's move on to the second exam. Okay, now I need to draw a girl just to be to prove that I'm all pro gender equality. Okay, hang on. I give her beautiful lips. We need that time. Tell us, do you like these drawings? Oh, see how pretty she is.
What's her name?
Let's give her a name. It's Brittany. It's Brittany.
So cliché.
hang on. Whitney needs to smile a little bit. Okay, at the very beginning. Okay.
Quite creepy.
Let's put it. We'll give her a hat, a beautiful one. Let's put it like this. Okay, we should crack on. I should crack on actually. Hang on, but I think it's funny. Okay, good. This is Brittany. Brittany is all ready for the exam, and her topic is the working world. Slightly different though this time, namely creating a career that lights your fire. And this is also in your book, maybe you remember. And let's have a look at the situation over here. You're an expert in the field of job counseling, so you are good in giving advice concerning jobs. So it's similar, but not the same like we had before. And you've been invited to hold a presentation for school-leaving pupils about how to choose a job that lights your fire. So that really... I like it if you say it a little bit with a little bit of impetus.
It should
that
be
lights
said like
your
that.
fire. Pardon me?
It should be said like this, I think.
Yeah, throughout your life, just if you use that phrase, just say lights your fire. It's very dramatic, I think so. Good, let's move on. Okay, give pieces of advice. Pay attention, pieces of advice. Advice doesn't have a plural, so you need the pieces before. So it's not pieces of advice. It's one advice and pieces of advice concerning just grammar, blah blah blah. Concerning one's future career choice. Talk about this topic. Explain, maybe just without explain why self-awareness of one's skills and competences is of crucial importance. Identify obstacles which one may encounter and give tips what one can do online in order to help oneself to find the right profession. Then afterwards you should open the discussion. Obviously there might be a question, discuss what else one can do in order to find a profession that lights up your fire, and use the information down below. Here is the link. Super interesting link that we found here. You can click through it and there is a link that brings you to a home page. It's on a second page and that brings you to another page where you can take actually online tests that tell you what kind of competences you have, and that helps you to find the right job for your future. And then obviously in the end talk about your own experience. Good. Let's hit it off. Again, hello. I'm very glad to have you here. Back at the exam. Final exam. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Christoph, and I'm 21 years old. And I'm doing the A-levels, of course.
Yes. This is why you're sitting here.
Yeah. I've chosen to do so. I'm quite nervous, but I hope I will do fine. And I'm doing the A-levels because I want to be a professional makeup artist.
Really?
Yes.
That's an Do you need the A-levels for that?
Yes.
Why?
Because
tell me more.
There is a university in school. In Munich.
Yeah.
That does makeup stuff.
Yeah. Interesting.
And you need, of course, the A-levels.
Yeah. And what kind of makeup genre do you want to go for? Is it like theater, drama, models? I don't know. Well, what's there actually?
I don't like the model department, but that's too. Yeah, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I really like working with film crews and theater, of course, because in theater, makeup is something that has to be quite good because you can't edit something afterwards.
Yeah. Yes, it's live.
And with movies, of course, it has to be accurate too, but there's certain programs that help you fix minor or even major things.
Would you then go into the more creative department, like creating orcs and monsters? Or?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I really liked it. So I want to go to Los Angeles. I can't remember the name of the company, but there's a company that makes or has made the Batman suit and mask, then Superwoman and all the the Marvel things, or the Marvel productions, and they work with modern technology. They scan your body and you recreate a whole suit for the actor, actually.
That is super interesting. Good luck for that. So in order to get there, we need to get through this exam. Right, you read the instructions first. You're an expert in the field of job counseling, and today you give a presentation to school-leaving pupils to help them to find the right job. So,
yeah,
please hit it off.
So, my name is Fred, and I'm an expert in job counseling, and I'd like you, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to welcome to my presentation about job counseling, actually, and how to choose the job that lights your fire. Yes. So first, I'm gonna start off with the self-awareness, the importance of self-awareness of your skills you should have. Then I'm going to talk about the obstacles you may encounter during doing job research and and then I'm gonna give you tips to how you can easily find out in which direction you can go concerning your future job, future profession. So at first, as I mentioned, I'm going to talk about the self-awareness of one's skills. So, why is it so important? If you know, it's just really basic. If you know in what you're good at, you're gonna choose the right profession. So, if you're, for example, you're good at math. So you know that you're easily can do some calculations, you're easily can handle numbers and stuff. So then you can basically, you can basically think about it that way, that you can't be a history professor, maybe. That's nothing for you. So, but you can with certain things and skills, you can shoot out other professions. So maybe you're good at math, as I mentioned, and you're good at talking to people. So maybe you can be a math teacher, or maybe you're good at talking to people and you're good at explaining things to other people, because you have explained things to your little brother the whole time, and he's the only one who thinks that you're, compared to his teacher or her teacher, that you can explain things very well. Of course, and you have, but you can do it like use mind maps or brainstorming and write down what you love to do and what you could imagine to do as a job. And of course, there are, as with every job and as with life, basically, there are obstacles. So, of course, you should do what you like, but if it's like, if you jump into the deep end of the pool, it's not gonna work. So you have to make baby steps, start off very little, and then start to, of course, improve. It all takes, you can start at the very top and then think you're the best, or not think that you're the best, but think that you can start with the dream job. You have to work for it, of course. It's not something you'll get from nothing, actually. And online there are a lot of career counseling websites There's some that cost.
Mm-hmm.
That cost you, I don't know how much it differs actually. Of course, there are professionals also on the internet. There are also tests for free you can do,
Mm-hmm.
but depends. I don't know if they're that accurate, but of course, if you don't have the money, it's a good opportunity. There are also some kind of job counselings sometimes at libraries or universities or at Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you very much. We open now the discussion round to all the pupils here that are actually leaving school right now.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, there is Brad again. No, Brad
Brad.
is you. Brad. Yes, Brad. So
Brad.
hi, my name is Brad. I'm actually very unsure what I should do in future. My mom, for example, tells me I should just go study immediately, but I'm not sure what I should study. My dad says if I don't know what to do, if you don't know what to do, I should go working somewhere. And then my friends say, yeah, what about traveling for 2 months and then come back completely broke, but maybe with an idea what to do. And right now I'm absolutely puzzled what I should do in the moment right now. Because I took these tests already. I was a professional, but I didn't feel there was no job that actually was able to light the fire in me for what do you suggest in this case?
It's actually quite difficult, but as I've experienced with a lot of other people, traveling can be a solution. I don't say that's the solution, because a lot of people think that when they travel, they come back and suddenly something changes. Of course, it works for some people, but there are also people with which it doesn't work. So job counseling, if you do job counseling, you should look at, maybe I don't know, have you gotten any like result sheet with...
Yes. But I wasn't happy with it because it said, yeah, I can do maths, I can do creative bits, I can do languages as well. And I was just like, yeah, there's quite a lot and I don't know which one I should go for.
Yeah. So I think you should pick out the best 4 and then try to maybe look at those 4 and go to a university website and look at the curricula they have there.
That's a good.
Then you get a bit of overview what they're doing at university. And you could also go to, in Innsbruck, it's the ÖH, in the whole of Austria actually, it's the ÖH. Go there to the office and ask them about studies to those 4 things you've picked out.
I haven't done that before. Yes, it's the end of our time. We'll end the role play right now and come to the follow-up discussion. Still stuck with your choice of career because it's quite an unusual one.
Yes.
What actually lit your fire?
My fire was lit by a good friend of mine who works in this field. Actually, he's in the movie industry.
Okay.
Film industry. And he does the sound design.
Okay.
You know what it is?
Yeah. So the editing and everything,
and all the sounds,
jingles and
And I've been on the set with him for a couple of days for a well-known movie, but I can't mention it now because it's not out.
Okay. You let us know then.
Yeah. And then I actually encountered the makeup artist there. And then I had a talk with him and her, were 2 people actually. And it kind of lit my fire because it was something you have to use your hands with actually, and you have to be creative and accurate, of course. Yeah,
That's
and
interesting.
working with the different materials it's really
it's a very personalized job,
yeah,
and every
personalized.
time and every day, even you might change something because one day skin is like this, and the other day it's like this due to weather conditions, for example. Yes. Could you imagine yourself seeing in front of the camera?
Yeah, but not primarily. Maybe just a small role or something to.
So not as main actor,
No,
winning an
no.
Oscar or something.
No.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. That was an interesting discussion at the very
You're
end.
welcome.
And we are at the end of our exam, so wish you luck for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
Lip sync for your life. While I'm going through the exam, Chris is going to chat with you. And here's my cute picture of Brittany. See what I've done? I gave her a heart as a picture frame, a hearty frame. Let's put it like this. Yes. What's super duper is the very nice greeting. Here is nice greeting, nice. He welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. That was super nice and super friendly, and started off that you should talk about. He talked about self-awareness and that you should be aware of your own skills and take everything step by step. But you need to work for it. So work it. That is absolutely interesting. That he pointed that out. That usually you need to put effort into something in order that you achieve a certain goal as well. And he also gave advice, like for example, you can make mind maps or go to job counseling. You had talked about obstacles. This can also happen to you, that you have like a short break when there is like nothing in your head in the moment when you don't know what to say. Just adjust your crown again and keep on talking, fake it until you make it. And this is what Chris has beautifully done, and that was super good. So because he talked about all of the topics over here, and that can just happen in everyday conversation as well. So that was fine. Afterwards, role playing was also interesting because he reacted to the question of Brad. That was absolutely clueless and talked about the possibilities he have and gave pieces of advice what he can do in order to maybe find the path that lights his fire. And then the after role playing was also interesting because you got to know what his plans are, where he got the interest for his future career, and so on and so forth. We are now by the end of our stream. Here again is the link. You can do an online survey then and find out what your skills are. I did it as well, and that was interesting. The outcome was interesting. I should be on the right path. Yeah, and I wish you a super nice evening, and see you next week. No, next week? I'm not sure. See you next week. Yes. And Wednesday again if you're turning on that stream as well. And in case of the best of the cases, drink a cool drink in the next few minutes. See you.
Bye bye.